Today I'm reading from intention number one, which is to live in the present moment, coming from the book Transforming Suffering into Wisdom that I wrote a number of years ago. This particular chapter is how I lost the present moment, and it's 2 pages. It's a long, relatively long chapter for all of this, and it's somewhat of a personal remembrance and narrative of my experience. So here we go. And because it's 2 pages, I may just read it. I don't know that I'll have much comment at the end, but there's a lot here. How I lost the present moment. As I look back now on my life, it strikes me how lucky I was to learn this first intention of presence, filled as it is with depth and delight, or to relearn it. I'd had many rich moments and much delight as a child. In fact, I recall feeling mostly as if I lived in paradise. But as I grew, or perhaps shrunk, into adulthood, and felt the loss of my childhood paradise, I found myself going more and more into self-absorbed dramas, dreams, and fantasies of escape, as well as resentments and blames that I projected onto the world around me. I felt enslaved by economic circumstances, abandoned by whoever had protected the magic of my childhood, and lost and uncertain in my relationships with others. I blamed my family, government, and corporations, anything that smacked of adulthood, and all organized communities of action and thought. It does not matter whether I was right or wrong, or even whether I now disagree or agree with the opinions I held then. What matters is that in attaching to my thoughts of how I thought things were, or how I wanted them to be, I was losing what really mattered, the experience of life itself, of how things actually are, which can only be experienced right now, here, in this moment. During this restless period, I spent many evenings dabbling in drugs or watching TV. I think now that part of the problem lay in my education. Don't get me wrong. I owe an enormous debt both to my teachers and to the institutions which housed them. I learned many extraordinary things, but among them, nothing systematic about how to approach the part of my life that was lost. I had been taught that the thoughts and sayings of others were wise, but never instructed how a systematic wisdom could be developed and harvested like grain for rough winters within my own body. Rather, I had learned to be attached to my thoughts and out of touch with my body, with my original nature, and with nature itself, and the mystery of its sensations. Adding to my challenge, I was raised in a family of lawyers, where I learned to be attached to opinions and to judge every circumstance of life for its right and its wrong. As a consequence, I felt lost to myself, unhappy, judgmental, and vulnerable to the world. Yet through all this, I kept in my mind a primary image, stronger than all the others. It was of the paradise of my childhood, and of the wisdom of the many teachers who came before us. I was determined to find my way back there And I dedicated a portion of each day to inner practice and to cultivating awareness of the present moment. How fortunate I now feel that this seed of practice rose above the weeds of my discontent and flourished for me into a way of life. The passage that I've marked in these 2 pages that I'm going to read again, it's just a few lines, is the following. I had been taught that the thoughts and sayings of others were wise, but never instructed how a systematic wisdom could be developed and harvested like grain for rough winters inside my own body. The practice of presence is right here. It's here and now, but it's inside of us. It's something that we do uniquely for ourselves and with ourselves. And what's astonishing about it is that it leads to an accumulation of experience that is like wisdom accumulating in the body, and it's like freedom accumulating in the body as and an inclination to freedom as part of our second nature. We are, by and large, we're all taught thinking, and it's all about critical thinking, which is a great thing, but not enough. Thinking without the wisdom of the body, and the wisdom in particular of being in the present moment, is a secondary thing, insubstantial compared to what we learn with this first intention of living in the present moment. Thank you.